channel, so you voted for it, so I'm going to talk about it. Dreamwalking. How are you, beautiful darklings and lightlings and everyone in between today? I hope you are well. So, dreamwalking, what is it? What are my experiences with it? And later I'll give you a few tips if you want to try it in your dream work. So firstly, what is dreamwalking? Well, it's kind of close to astral projection. However, it is not quite the same. Dreamwalking is leaving your body and inserting yourself into somebody else's dream world, realm, or mind. This can be useful and fun in many ways. But there are a few downfalls. So the pros: gaining information, meeting if you are far from someone or a loved one that you want to see, seeing a person's mental state, intimacy with someone far away, and observation of a person to see if your spells or curses or other things are working or how they're working and affecting their mind. You can plant messages or thoughts in their mind as well using dreamwalking. The cons of dreamwalking. One of the biggest for me in my experience is getting lost, but not in the way that you would think. Like, I know some practitioners with astraling mention getting lost and not being able to find your way back to your body. I disagree. I've never really had that problem. It's more so being lost as in a confused state of being. For example, the second dreamwalk experience that I ever had, I ended up in a friend's nightmare. I was in a burning maze of fire and observing my friend trying to get out of this maze, and it was kind of chaotic. So it put me into a confused, panic until I realized and told myself, hey, it's his dream, and I had to be consciously aware of what was happening or going on and remind myself that I'm in a dream realm, this isn't real, and I went back to my own realm or body, if you will. So if I was not experienced in lucid dreaming or being a lucid dreamer, that might have gone quite bad. You never really know what you will see or be placed into while walking in someone else's dream or mind. When I attempted a dream walk a few months ago, I had a plan to find my way to a friend. I was walking through dark woods in a really dark meadow. I remember the full moon just being so bright and beautiful, and the trees were really lush and beautiful. And it was just all illuminated in the darkness. It was wonderful, but I missed my mark, my direction, and I was kind of just wandering in this place. That is another way you could get lost, by not ending up where you meant to be going. And that can happen quite frequently. Even for me, I've used dream work in years of practice, and I adapt it in my own ways and methods to make it work for me, but we don't always have control of where we end up. So sometimes you just can't control that, and it also depends on a number of factors while dream walking. Is that other person asleep at that moment you're trying to attempt it? And is their mind open, and is there enough of a link between the two of you in order to dream walk into their mind or dream realm? You have to have a link or some sort of connection. Are you consciously aware of your destination as well? Because will is one of the biggest factors when it comes to dream work too. Another dream walk I did that was quite intense while I was on my path working with Beelzebub. He taught me how to utilize my dream work a bit better. It had been a year past at that time since I put a curse on someone. Now please understand, I don't do that often, and this wasn't something small that this person had done. They had threatened every aspect of my health and life and were maliciously out to destroy me. So I followed Beelzebub into the mind of my enemy that I had cursed. He showed me the target's mind in ruins. Stones was like crushed all around us, just almost like a temple or a house that just fell into ruins. And the target was wandering through these ruins and kind of babbling like they weren't sane, and gripping their hair at times, and just kind of like pacing, looking around, very fidgety. It was a validation and a new way to gain access to this power that Beelzebub showed me, pretty much of how you can get that validation through your dream work, which could be arguably dangerous if abused by a very negative person, but it can help a practitioner as well. I had also at one point, about 5 years ago, after a breakup, I had met the person in their dream, and it turned into an intimate encounter. In the waking world, the person contacted me about their dream and how real and weird it was. Of course, I was still really careful on who I told back then that I was a witch and what I do, so I did not tell them what I had done. Also, I was hired at times to do some similar things for people pertaining to love. Dreamwalking, you can appear or glamour your astral body to appear how you want it to. And I would glamour to look like the client, and then insert into the mind an image of them or a message, and then the client would usually receive a call from their desired person about their dream. It would get them kind of thinking about them. Recently, I've been doing a lot of astral travel, but I want to make a whole separate video about this because I've experienced some really cool and intense things, and I want to do a big thing with that, so I'm not going to reveal much of that in this video. The other night, I dreamwalked without meaning to, which happens quite frequently as well, into a friend's realm. And that's something else that will happen frequently. I think a lot of people dreamwalk or astral without realizing it as well. But in the dream, I was sitting at my friend's table and she was brushing my hair, and then I brushed hers, and we were just talking about witchcraft and magic and things we discover in our paths, and it was a nice visit. And the dream I mentioned in my community tab recently, I thought I had dreamwalked into friends from high school's minds, but after communication and further like reevaluating and analyzing the experience, I realized it was a travel with my incubi, once again using his cunning ways to trick me. But it was bizarre and nice at the same time. We were kind of laying on a stone circular area, almost like the top of a tower in a castle, and I remember gates and stone walls around us, also vines and other lush, like green plants and stuff. But again, it was really peaceful, and I remember smiling and saying, wow, it's been a while, like, where have you been? You know, this is nice. And the incubi laughed at me or said around about the same thing, like, yeah, it's been a while, but it's nice. Alright, so those are some of my experiences that I wanted to share with you. And so what are some tips to practice dreamwalking? Well, first, my advice would be lucid dreaming and astral projection should be practiced so you can utilize skill and direction more easily while attempting to dreamwalk. You also need control and conscious awareness. See, we open ourselves up slowly to this type of work, because once you start discovering that these things are real, that there are many realms, many things of existence. It's a lot to take in and comprehend. And also, believing is half the battle in like all of witchcraft or anything you're practicing. If you don't have belief, then you don't have the will to do it or carry it out, in my opinion. When you have your destination set on who you want to visit, my exact ritual is choosing the destination first. Then I usually use a charged amethyst stone under my pillow. Amethyst works really well for psychic or for dream work. And you can use oils as well. Like if you want to use any travel oils or psychic oils, they can help too. And then you lay down, focusing on that person. See their face in your mind's eye. As you feel your mind slipping into that state, the one we're always achieving when we're meditating or doing any type of dream work, that theta gamma, that trance-like state, where you're half awake, half asleep, I usually like to envision, or I usually see, a little trail of sparks that I like to follow away from my body. And it kind of leads to the unknown. I'll explain why soon. But use your will to leave your body. Much like astraling, you will feel it. You will become light. You will hear buzzing. You will feel yourself literally retracting from your body. The first time it ever happened to me, I got terrified because I thought I was dying and that my soul was leaving my body. And I can remember pushing against the wall to go back to my body, like, no, what's happening? So, yeah, and I heard a really loud, like, buzzing. Other people hear bells. I think that's going to differ from person to person. But I also feel like a tingly pull, and that's what you want to follow. And I envision those tingles as like sparks, and they just kind of lead me out. So then lastly, I'll feel like a small jolt from my body. And then that's half your battle done when it comes to dream walking or astraling, is actually leaving your body. Now, I will say that it'll usually lead me to kind of like a black void before I end up to my destination. So I'll start to follow the sparks to the person, and then everything will kind of go black, and then it's like I'm inserted into their dream. That's for my experience anyway. I don't know how it is for others, but you'll also get an intense feeling off and on depending on the experience as well, that you're an intruder or you shouldn't really be there. That's kind of normal for that particular state of being, though. You're gonna feel that way. But if you're newer to it, I would start with observing the dreams of the other person before you go to interacting. Now, this is my experience, my way I adapted that works for me. It's helped others, but sometimes we have to work a lot to find what works for us. I do hope you enjoy this and find it interesting. If you stick with dream work, you can advance in it. It does take time and patience. However, it took me years to figure it out. And also, some people, like I said, already do this and don't even realize it or don't know it. Also, something else I want to get into and practice with another practitioner is you can pull someone else into your dream as well. So DreamWork's one of my favorite practices. It can become addicting. I do recommend taking breaks in between once you do achieve this. It's such an awesome feeling once you get over the scariness of it and the fear. And then it can become something that you want to do all the time. It really is an awesome, intense experience. And sometimes you're like, well, I don't want to wake up. I want to keep experiencing this. It's fun. It's out there. It's almost like being put into a fantasy world or realm. And we got to kind of keep things balanced, So I would just take breaks in between. Yeah, and then you're not really draining yourself either. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this helps somebody in your dream work, and let me know what you thought about it. And next time I might be talking about my astral experiences, which is going to be quite a lengthy video, I think, because I've made some really interesting discoveries on my path with my astral travels recently, especially this year. So yeah, much love, and I hope you enjoyed this.